the movement of the Spirit. For the Bible said, "He that is of the Spirit walks in the Spirit." Those of us who walk in the Spirit are alerted first to know what happens in the physical. Viewers, 6 days ago, the man of God gave a prophetic message for the nation of Iran. Although he has spoken about this event earlier during the month of April 2024, this is a continuation, as the Spirit says through him. Israel will be accused of what is happening around Iran. Let us see what the prophet said and its fulfillment.
Without being guided by the Spirit of God. That's why I said earlier, the Spirit is moving, but no one understands this direction. Let's see this message for the nation of Iran. It is for Ibrahim Raisi, the president of Iran. What happened? What took place? For the nation of Iran, what happened to it and its leadership? This message, before I was permitted, it took time in the place of prayer. This is the voice of the Lord and the voice of the seven Spirit of God who dwell in the throne of the Father. There is a policy. The president was resisting from being implemented. There is a policy the president of Iran, Ibrahim Raisi, was resisting from being implemented. Because of this act, they came together, 17 of them. These are people under the government. I can see that as I'm talking to you. And hired men to utter his plane. And hired men to utter his plane. I'm saying this because of people, the fight that I'm seeing coming, because it is a wrong fight. Blaming of other nations, while least those that do it is within the government. They hire 17, they hire men to utter his plane, which is setting up bomb. When the president dies, they are going to implement through another president. Already there's somebody that they have chosen who will bend to their own will. The country involved will not be punished because they are big countries, but they will not be punished at all because they are hiding their trace. What do I mean that the country involved will not be punished? This did not just happen without the help of other nations. We know that the nation of Iran has been illegal because of the previous attack and everything that has been happened. But this that happened was as a result of the big nation who was also in support of this assassination. This is the voice of the Lord. They will soon be exposed. But we are seeing an innocent nation to be blamed, which is the Israel. I know the Saudi attack was supported by the Spirit. This is a parable, but the nation Israel is innocent. This is the voice of the seven Spirit of God who stand and dwell in the throne of the Father and the 9 Spirit within. The voice speaking to you now is the voice of the latter Spirit of God in store in this modern day generation. Thank you.
I can also confirm today that I have reasonable grounds to believe, on the basis of evidence collected and examined by my office, that Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Minister of Defense Yoav Gallant bear criminal responsibility for the following international crimes committed on the territory of the State of Palestine from at least the 8th of October 2023. The crimes include starvation of civilians as a method of warfare, willfully causing great suffering, serious injury to body or health or cruel treatment, willful killing or murder, and intentionally directing attacks against a civilian population, as well as crimes against humanity of extermination and or murder, persecution, and allegations of crimes of committing other inhumane acts. My office submits that these individuals, through a common plan, have systematically deprived the civilian population of Gaza of objects indispensable to human survival. We have reached that conclusion based upon interviews with survivors, many eyewitnesses, experts, from satellite imagery, statements from Israeli officials, including the 2 individuals subject to the present application, as well as based upon several hundred authenticated videos, photographs, and audio recordings, many of which were taken and shared by victims and eyewitnesses themselves. My office charges Netanyahu and Gallant as co-perpetrators and as superiors in the commission of these alleged crimes. Israel, like all states, has the right to defend its population. It has every right to ensure the return of hostages that have been criminally and callously taken. Those rights, however, do not absolve Israel of its obligations to comply with international humanitarian law. Intentionally causing death, starvation, injury, and suffering to the civilian population, including so very many women and children, are criminal means to achieve military and political goals. That's what we allege. I have reasonable grounds to believe that 3 senior leaders of Hamas, Yahya Sinwar, Mohammed Daif, and Ismail Haniyeh, bear criminal responsibility for the following international crimes committed on the territory of Israel and the State of Palestine from at least the 7th of October 2023. Extermination as a crime against humanity. Murder as a crime against humanity and as a war crime. The taking of hostages as a war crime. Rape and other acts of sexual violence during captivity as crimes against humanity and as war crimes. Torture during captivity as a crime against humanity and as a war crime. Other inhumane acts during captivity as a crime against humanity. Cruel treatment during captivity as a war crime. And outrages upon personal dignity during captivity as a war crime. My office submits that there are reasonable grounds to believe that these 3 Hamas leaders are criminally responsible for the killing of Israeli civilians in attacks perpetrated by Hamas and other armed groups on the 7th of October 2023, the taking of hostages, and the other crimes alleged in our applications. My office also submits today that there are reasonable grounds to believe that hostages taken from Israel, taken from their homes, taken from their communities, have been kept in inhumane conditions, and that some have been subjected to horrendous sexual violence, including rape, while being held in captivity. Those who do not comply with the law should not complain later when my office takes action based upon solid evidence. That day has come. Today we underline in the clearest possible fashion that international law and the laws of armed conflict apply to everyone. No foot soldier, no commander, no civilian leader, no one.
This you saw was as a result of the early attack by the Iran, the Lord said, he that fought Israel has fought me. He that fought Israel has fought me. And the Lord went further to say, this will attract the help of many nations, but we are to remain on our feet, because the outcome of this will not be likely. It will draw the attention of other nations in support of what this Iran, whatever, this might lead to world war if the children of God do not pray. This is the voice of the seven Spirit of God installed in this latter days generation. Thank you.
The outrageous decision by the ICC prosecutor, Karim Khan, to seek arrest warrants against the democratically elected leaders of Israel is a moral outrage of historic proportions. It will cast an everlasting mark of shame on the international court. Israel is waging a just war against Hamas, a genocidal terrorist organization that perpetrated the worst attack on the Jewish people since the Holocaust. Hamas massacred 1,200 Jews, raped Jewish women, burned Jewish babies, took hundreds hostage. Now, in the face of these horrors, Mr. Khan creates a twisted and false moral equivalence between the leaders of Israel and the henchmen of Hamas. This is like creating a moral equivalence after September 11th between President Bush and Osama bin Laden, or during World War II between FDR and Hitler. What a travesty of justice, what a disgrace. The prosecutor's absurd charges against me and Israel's defense minister are merely an attempt to deny Israel the basic right of self-defense. And I assure you of one thing, this attempt will utterly fail. 80 years ago, the Jewish people were totally defenseless against our enemies. Those days are over. Now the Jewish people have a state, and we have an army to defend our state. Notwithstanding the blood libels Mr. Khan has leveled, Israel will continue to wage this war in full compliance with international law. We will continue to take unprecedented measures.
You can see how far the eyes of Jesus Christ can reach. Yes, even in our situations, this is to remind us that Jesus Christ sees it and he is concerned about it, to grant us solutions to our problems. Do not forget, this channel is all about Jesus Christ. Keep watching God Voice TV for the salvation of souls.